How do you balance individual goals with team goals in a Scrum team? Well, it's a good question. Because individual goals aren't always in alignment with the team goals. So the way that I would tend to do it is, as a team, you have a purpose. That there's a reason that you've been brought together. What's that purpose? What's the problem you're there to solve? That's going to be the key goal. Be it a product goal, a sprint goal, a product vision, whatever you want to call it. There's a reason to be, and there's likely ways to track. So that's a good thing because that allows us to form the team. However, we want to improve. We want to get better ourselves, or at least I always assume people do. And that's more individualistic. That's more about me, a little bit selfish maybe. And it's still a good thing. We want people to have goals because as they strive for those goals, they're going to improve and they're going to learn new skills, and those skills become available to the team, and therefore the team is fitter, it's better able to reach its goals. And many people see these as in conflict. Right? And my experience is they often are in conflict, but not because the goals are in conflict, but because nobody's talked about them. Right? So what I like to do right at the very start, as we're forming the team or as people join the team, okay, when we're doing our working agreements, when we're talking about our visions and values and who's in the team and who's not, and our core purpose and our tests about how we reach it, I ask another question. What do you want to get from being a part of this team? What do you want to get from being here? Right? And the aim here is to really open up a discussion about what does good look like for you? What are you striving for? What is the thing that you want to move to next? So that we can also talk about how do we as a team support you? Which is very different because many teams just don't talk about it. That doesn't mean that those desires, those goals go away. It just means that people work on them behind the scenes. Instead of that, we can have an open conversation. Somebody wants to get promoted. Well, great. How can we support you? Maybe there's somebody in the team who already has that role and is willing to mentor that person to take on more and more of the responsibilities to really show when it does come time for that promotion conversation that not only could they do it, but they have been doing it. I found bringing that conversation in early on to really change just about everything around individual goals. People are open, honest, they're willing to talk about it. They're willing to support each other because they know what you're after, and vitally, they know that it's not in conflict with the team's goal. Now, occasionally we do come across the situation where your individual goal is in conflict with the team goal, and that's a much harder conversation, where you want to go left and the goal requires you going right. What we have to do is manage the expectations. Now, is this a team that particular individual really ought to stay part of? Or has their journey let us know that they're going somewhere else and we need to bring people in to fill the gaps as they move on? Okay, but at least we know if they are in opposition, at least we know. At least we can have the conversation and act like grown-ups and manage it accordingly. Individuals and team goals do not have to clash if we act responsibly up front. And as Scrum Masters, our role is really to bring the team together for this conversation, to facilitate it, to ensure everybody has a voice, that we find the best way forwards. And then, actually, we can navigate this very simply.